All right, this is going to happen. It's the day. The day is finally here. I'm so excited. I just want to say hello to everybody. My name is Jay Bassell, and I am the moderator for this event. I am with Equipment Zone, and we are more than excited to have this day finally here. It's been a lot of work behind the scenes, and we're so excited that so many people decided to join us today. Not just our epic panel of experts. They cannot be praised enough. But the truth is that you have chosen to spend some time with us. So we've got hundreds of people registered today, and they're going to be pouring in. So thank you for being here to all of you. This is the 2022 Apparel Trends webinar. And the reality is we're promoting this because happiness and wellness and community are three of the many overarching macro trends. And we are going to talk about words and color and design and apparel decoration and apparel products. And so we're really looking forward. Now we've compressed the content down. Each one of these guests, and I'm not exaggerating, could and should present these topics in probably an hour to 90 minutes. And they have agreed to try to pare this down and summarize some important, what we will call our trend buckets. And these are the key takeaways, the key points. And they're going to do that in a 15 to 20 minute. I'm going to hold them to about 20 minutes so that we have time for hopefully some chat after the fact. So that's why we're here today, the 2022 Apparel Trends. And this has been something, like I said, that's exciting for Equipment Zone. It's exciting for me personally. I really, really appreciate our guests today, and I can't wait to introduce them. So on my screen right now, hopefully this will connect and you'll remember seeing this with all of our social media that we've been pushing out on our invitations and our emails. We're really grateful for the opportunity, and we want to make sure that this is worth your time. So I'm going to bring on the guests now so that you can see everybody. Hey guys, if you can, go ahead and unmute yourselves and pop your videos on so folks can see your happy faces. And we're not gonna there. Look at Jeremy with that big smile. I love it. I love it. So we're having such a good time, and that's really the theme of our session is good vibes. So there's Vicky. You saw Jeremy with his big smile. Vicky, I'm going to start with you. Just a quick intro. Vicky, you are Vicky Ostrom. You are a trend analyst and a futurist, which are two of my favorite titles at Sanmar. I think everybody listening knows who Sanmar is. But you are also the founder of Trend Dependent, one of your favorite side projects. And so thanks for being here, Vicky. This is kind of fun for me. Yeah.
Wow, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for inviting.
Well, you are the star. So your star's shining bright. Next, ladies, again, I want to say hi to Adrienne. Hi, Adrienne.
Hi.
Adrienne Palmer is a big deal, you guys. She's the editor-in-chief of two industry-specific magazines, Screen Printing Magazine, as well as Big Picture. And so, Adrienne, wow, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Jay. Always happy to be involved, and thanks for the kind words.
Well, listen, I'm giving praise that's real and true. You know it. So, thanks again. We're gonna listen to Adrienne in just a little bit, and then the other male counterpart, Mr. Jeremy Picker. Jeremy, how are you today?
Good, sir. How are you? Thanks for having me.
I'm wonderful. I'm thrilled that you're here, Jeremy. You are the co-founder, or are you the founder? I always mess that one up. I think you're the man.
I was
right?
the co-founder. Now I am
okay.
Sole owner.
you are large and in charge. So yeah, perfect. And the Amber Creative is your fame to claim. That's your baby. And Amber Creative is a I guess, how would you say it? Is it an agency? Is it a design firm? Is it an apparel company? What's the way you like to position it?
All of it. I mean, I was a design firm first and eventually got into promo. So just merch development, design, you know, I'm a distributor as well on the promo side, but we really try to focus on fashion forward products, you know,
nice
design. So yeah, man,
I know how
I
into
love what
design
I do if you don't know.
No, I know it. You bring the passion, you bring the heat every time. We have people from all over. We have people from Seattle, people chiming in saying good afternoon. We're so thrilled that they're here. We've got Vicky, we've got Jeremy, we've got Adrian. We probably have people from Sweden, Peru, the United States, Canada. Who knows? We're thrilled that they're here. And again, I'm Jay Bassell, and we're lucky enough to have Equipment Zone want to share this content with all of our customers, but also just with the market, with the industries in general, right? So it's open to everybody, and that's why it was free. I hope we didn't blitz you with too many registration questions, but we do want to get to know you. We promise we won't spam you forever. I know how annoying that can be, but don't be surprised if we reach out and say, hey. So, but that's about it. You know, we just want to have the good vibes and have a great show. So time is limited. We've already about 5 minutes in. So here's what I want to do next is I want to kind of set the stage here. Got a couple of questions and a couple of points to bring up. So first of all, thank you again to our presenters. Thank you for everybody who's here. This session is being recorded. It'll be available on Equipment Zone's YouTube channel, so you can watch it or share it later, watch it again. It would not surprise me if it finds its way, or some of it finds its way onto Screen Printing Magazine's website as well, but that will be to be determined later. Each presenter is going to share their content for about 15 or 20 minutes. And we'll probably have a little break between each one. I doubt we'll be able to answer every single question that pops up in the chat live, but it is being monitored. So to a certain degree, we're trying. So hopefully you won't give us some, you know, don't hate us, because we're really kind of concentrating on this, and it's hard to monitor the chat at the same time, but we're going to do the best we can. Also, each of the presenters, or hopefully each of the presenters, they may share or drop in a link as well. So don't be surprised if you see something from either Jeremy or from Vicky or from Adrian. And don't be surprised if Tim, who's monitoring our chat, drops in a link here or there. As I said, questions, we'll do the best we can, but we are trying to get to the end of it. And if we see 2 or 3 that we really like, we're going to try to take those chat questions. So also during this, we would love it if you would get serious with the good vibes. Share those good vibes. Whatever your social media platform is, please use these following hashtags: promote the goodness, promote the trends. Any or all 3 of these would be wonderful, and we would appreciate it. And I hope you don't mind. We're not trying to be too commercial with this, but we do want to share this out. So if you see something, if you like something, if one of our panels said something interesting or something important, or something that you want to really kind of share, you're like, yes, this, then share it out. We'd love that. Hashtag 2022 Apparel Trends, hashtag good vibes, hashtag easy for me. So that's how it works. Pretty straightforward, good stuff. Let's see if we can't get to this next slide without crashing and burning, because I'm ready to turn this over to my good friend, Vicky Ostrom. Vicky, are you ready to rock and roll?
I am ready to rock and roll. I got my timer. I'm ready to go.
I love it.
I won't let you down, Jay.
No, I'm not worried about it. It's just we know each other quite well, and we're capable of going. We're like,
we can go.
Hard to turn us off. All right. Well, I am going to make sure that you have control. But before we do, I just could not share this. This little trend dependent project that you are on is just packed full of amazing goodness, trends, colors, designs. Words matter. I think I met you 3 years ago and was blown away. And so ever since then, I've been a fanboy and hanging on your every word. So Vicky, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you, Jay. All right, let me share here. Let's see. Oh, you have to stop sharing, then I can start sharing.
There you go.
Okay. Okay, so let's get this party started with the trends. All right, here we go. So I'm going to get myself started again with my timer. All right. All right. So 2022 is new in so many ways. And if any of you attended the trend presentation that I did for Promo Kitchen back in February, you are going to recognize this guy here. I referenced the Future 100 report by Wunderman Thompson. I was really impressed by it. And they put it best when they said 2022 is channeling a creative playfulness that symbolizes growth and freedom. And I have 6 key trends to kick us off today. And there's one mood board on each trend to show you a variety of products and graphics that illustrate the themes visually. So starting with this page, you can see some of the ideas starting to percolate here. And the goal is to help you start to form your own ideas on how these ideas translate to products and graphics, and really a wide variety of decoration placements and techniques in ways that work for your business. So in 2022, as we just talked about, 2022 is about happiness and play and fun. It's about the great outdoors and holistic, healthy vibes. It's about reuse, regenerate, and the new phrase that I just heard by some Oscar fashion commentators who were praising actors wearing vintage finery, even on the red carpet. They said, to repeat is neat, which I loved. They said, we're also crafting, literally and figuratively. We're personal storytelling through the things that we wear, and we're valuing the beauty of time. 2022 is about learning, it's about books and upskilling, and it's about having inclusive and diverse points of view at the table. It's about really genderful more than it is about genderless, which is a term that we used to say all the time, but I want to shift us over to the idea of genderful. There are many social movements that are influencing trends right now. And as consumers, one of the biggest things that we're doing is we want to co-create and collaborate with the brands that we love. After 2 years of being apart, finding ways to understand each other and come together through community and connection just feels so right to us. And this is playing out in a number of ways. For example, one that I really love that I came across recently is this new Old Navy ad campaign that was inspired by this idea that a high school senior had of what he thought the best Old Navy ad could be. And he invited others to add their ideas on TikTok. And what's great is that Old Navy took the cue and they created an ad campaign with the TikTok collaborators who are essentially directing it through their comments that they're sharing with TikTok. So the other one I wanted to point out to you is the unofficial Bridgerton musical. And it is now up for a Grammy for Best Musical Theater Album next week. And it started as a way for the two creators of this to work through their writer's block by sharing ideas for songs on TikTok. And they created this ongoing collaboration that they got from their community, and it really helped this project come to life. So in 2022, it's about co-creating, it's about connection and collaboration with our communities. So how fun is it to connect with this first trend? Happiness, fun, and play. There's an awakening of the senses as the pandemic wanes. A desire to celebrate and enjoy life is translating to purchases of dopamine brights in everything from t-shirts to tracksuits. Festivals and concerts and eating out with friends, all of these are activities that are on the table again. And although there is a cautionary mindset that's still prevailing, steadily there's also a gritty, optimistic trend taking shape. And what that looks like as it translates into product is things like placement graphics, like sentence slogans. You have the one here that says storms always pass. There's many of those. We're also swinging back to an exuberant logomania brand expression that we saw back in the 90s. We're seeing a sharp growth according to WGSN Trend Service, increasing their share of the mix from 2% in spring summer 21 to 19% in spring summer 22 with all these logos. High energy brights are injecting joyful expression and a let's party attitude into every part of the day. And I think many of us can connect with this trend here. The great outdoors and holistic, healthy vibes. Nurturing ourselves by enjoying and celebrating nature is a great escape and an effective way to take down our stress levels and get some good vibes flowing. Respecting and caring for outdoor spaces and plants and creatures has data behind what we suspected all along. We gain holistic wellness through our experience of being in nature. And in the best way possible, caring about the planet has also become a kind of status symbol cross-generationally and also across borders. Choosing eco-friendly products and buying from companies doing social good is becoming really a major merchandising mandate for many businesses. And what that looks like in product is things like rugged workwear that's actually doubling as the perfect thing to wear for a hike as well. Classic plaid shirts, any kind of classic pattern is trending. Long sleeve tees and hats to proactively protect from sun exposure, rain gear, reflective trims on hats and vests and jackets that really become safety gear even for our urban walks. Colors that echo nature, such as tan, utility greens, warm yellows, and oranges, are all showing new in volume growth according to retail data for the US. We're also looking at reuse, regenerate, and repeat, as we talked about before. Repeating is neat. An acute awareness of the fragility of our planet and our finite resources has become a powerful engine fueling entire product lifestyles for everything from food to apparel to interiors to cars and every other product that you can name. And this isn't really a trend as much as it is a movement with momentum, and it's not going to be going away anytime soon. And what that looks like is it's translating to apparel choices in clothes especially, is a determination to buy the best quality of an item that can be afforded at any price level. So it's not just, I want to buy the most expensive thing because it's the best. It's, I have X amount of dollars and I want to buy the very best product I can for that amount of money. So every price level is being examined for quality. We're seeking beefy styles that are perceived to stand the test of time. We want simple, classic items that won't go out of style. They're really considered to be smart choices by an increasingly savvy buyer. And the savviest often is those under the age of 24, or better known as Gen Z, who are cost conscious and also value minded. In the State of Fashion 2022 report, there was recently a really great statement by Joseph Fai, who leads one of the biggest apparel agencies in Hong Kong called Lian Feng. And he shared a new concept of what value should mean when it comes to product creation. And it has a lot more to do with how things are made than the literal cost in dollars and cents. And this is what the population of the world is really waking up to as well. HR departments around the country understand this. 45% of employees, where it was reported in his business of fashion, 45% of employees cited sense of purpose as one of the most important factors in choosing to remain with their employer. And with just one last thing on this idea, in November of 2020 in Vogue magazine was this quote from a CEO of a fashion company in LA. And it's really important to conceptualize because it shows a shift in how we're thinking. They said, the word sustainable is like a dinosaur now. After all, what are we trying to sustain? The fires, the tornadoes, the mass extinction? You know, we don't need to be sustainable. We need to be regenerative. So there's a whole wealth of knowledge now going into how do we regenerate our plant products to become, you know, fibers again and different products that we need. So we're not going to get into it too deep here, but it's just something to consider, this shift from sustainable to regenerative. So on that note, looking at the concept of value through a creative lens, craft and personal storytelling and valuing the beauty of time is a big trend. 2022 is all about rethinking what a value is and how long an item should last. The pandemic highlighted how connected we all are as a global community. And this has shown a spotlight on a myriad of cultures for whom mending is not just functional, but has risen to an art form. Patchwork patterns made of upcycled, salvaged fabrics have become popular. Special mending made beautiful, or visible mending as it's called, embroidery stitches give a handcrafted, personalized, well-loved look to many items. And faded colors with a vintage story to tell and soft, worn-looking fabrics also showcase this trend. Learning, books, and upskilling is something to take note of. Being part of a community that values knowledge and learning is a trend that is equal parts Americana and preppy academia. With the incredible wealth of knowledge that can be gained online between YouTube and TikTok, many people are becoming lifelong learners and finding joy in their newfound skills. And this is translating very directly to relatable and wearable modern styles rooted firmly in school days nostalgia. Hashtags like book club, new prep, academia, clubhouse, and heritage are all fun hashtags that conjure immediate visual images of this trend. Ringer neck tees, college-inspired graphics and fonts, Letterman's jackets, bomber-style jackets, retro-inspired varsity V-neck sweaters and vests and cardigans can all be found under the umbrella of this trend. And finally, genderful, as we talked about, inclusive and diverse. Brands are seeing outpourings of positive feedback as they begin to include a wider group of customers and customer images with their advertising. Authentically sharing their platforms with gender inclusive, other abled, racially diverse customers has naturally brought more voices to the table of many brands. And what that looks like in product is many customers preferring the versatility and the practicality of roomier styles that can work for their roommate, their sister, their brother, their boyfriend, their girlfriend, as well as for themselves. In spring summer 22 catwalk analysis from WGSN, they showed that the spring 22 color shifts are really interesting. They said pastels are on the rise year over year, led by colors like pastel greens, which were up 112% over last year on the runways, pinks at 109% more, and purples at 85% more. And increasingly, it's not unusual to see product descriptions say genderless instead of saying men's or women's on their, I know Uniqlo is one that does that a lot. I've seen it on the Gap. You know, there's a lot of brands that are really showing that. And I put this image here just to show you a lot of brands are also starting to show you what it looks like on both genders, just to show you it looks great on everybody and it is for everybody. There's, especially in youth-led brands, what's shown on the fashion runways is what's soon seen in stores or online. And it's really wanted to be for every part of life, including what's worn to work by a lot of these young people. So when they see it, they expect they want to buy it. So there's less and less distance between high fashion and life fashion because of that. So 2022, just to wrap it up, is love. And let's do as this graphic crew says in the best sense of what they mean, that love, optimism and hope, joy. We want to imagine radical visions into reality. Thank you.
That was awesome.
Did it, Jay? Can you believe it?
Nailed it. Like, perfect. Vicky, your video turned off. Now your slides were great. We heard you the whole time. There you go. I wasn't sure if you meant to do that.
I didn't. It just happened.
About halfway through. I know, sorry. But I got to say this. You had so many compliments about your beautiful glasses. So, so that was what triggered me. I thought people really need to see this lady and they need to see these glasses. So
technology.
You crushed it. It was awesome. Growth, freedom, love. I have not heard you say, and I wrote it down, to repeat is neat. Check it out. I actually did write it down.
Isn't that fun?
Yes. I just, oh, so many goodness. But I don't want to say anything. I want to ask Jeremy and Adrian what they thought. What did you guys see? What were your takeaways? Jump in, either of you. Go now.
It's hard. It's like, where do you even begin?
I know. I was like,
information overload in the best possible way. I was thinking a lot about also things that I see in big picture, which is the wide format space, which doesn't really touch on apparel, but it was nice to see that the trends that are happening there are a bit similar to the trends here in apparel too. Some of that biophilic, kind of bringing the nature inside with those designs, those colors. They're all natural, making you want to get outside, even if you can't. And I really like to see all of that outerwear and athletic wear. Those colors are definitely trending. And it was nice to see that the two industries are kind of pairing together.
That's great. Love that. What about you, Jeremy? What did you see? What did you think?
Well, we talked about this on Friday, but I love that Vicky talked about having fun. You know, that is such an important thing in our industry that I don't think we're having enough of it, because look what we do. We get to be, I mean, really like kids, we're coloring merchandise and we're selling it for people to wear it and feel good and get compliments and be comfortable and show who they are. So being fun is part of what I talk about as well, but just something that I love that there's more people pushing that, because again, we are a fun industry and we need to show it. And then the regenerative stuff, you know, I read an article yesterday. The SVP of Fanatics posted this cool article, and he's talking about this kind of new industry, not new industry, but a new term called re-commerce. And these brands using vintage stock, dead stock, you know, upcycling materials and creating this new form of commerce from former commerce, right? Someone bought the item back in the day or recently, and they're upcycling it in a way. So re-commerce, I love, kind of went with what she was talking about. But, you know, I like that there's more brands in our industry showcasing that. You know, there's a brand that I just got hit up called Everywhere, and they're
I just saw that too.
Cotton. There's this company that Topiku and Atlantis headwear. They're using, you know, organic and recycled polyester, and then obviously all made in district from over there at Sanmar. But I love that it was only a select few, and now more people are getting into it, which is great. That gives us options as screen printers, decorators, distributors, to help serve that client that really wants that. So well done, Vicky. I mean, you are a wordsmith. It's amazing. Thanks for sharing your knowledge.
I think just one thing I would add on that regenerative thing is when you think, you know, the word sustainable and regenerative and all of that eco world that's in there, just for everybody to remember, it's not just one thing. Like Jeremy was saying, there are so many ways that you can do social good, you can do regenerative fibers, you can recycle fibers, you can, you know, do the upcycling, the vintage fiber, there's so many things. So it's just keeping the mind open that there's a lot of options out there in our industry right now, which is amazingly great.
It is great. And it's surprising when you look back as recent as 4 or 5 years ago, pre-pandemic, as they say, that this was a topic, this was an emerging important concept, but there was little, there were so few suppliers who could really get around it, because it's a giant shift for everybody. You know, I can only imagine what Sanmar and others have had to go through, you know, from the starting point to the point where the buyer is now, okay, now we're starting to see this. Now we were talking about it 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. Now we actually are in the phase of implementation. So cool. Vicky, you crushed it. You were awesome in every way. Can't wait to hear your spin on Adrian and Vic and Jeremy. Sorry. So let's turn it over to Adrian. Adrian, if you're ready, you've got control, I believe.
Yeah, I am ready.
You're fired up. I can tell.
Yeah. So Continuing on with the 2022 apparel trends, as much as Jay and Jeremy may cringe, as they did in our last chat about this topic on the Two Regular Guys podcast last week, I know it's not cotton, but active and athleisure brands like Nike and Adidas are focusing on polyester and positioning it to take over the market. Polyester is durable, wrinkle resistant, lightweight, and non-absorbent. So your sweat does not soak into the material. There are also developments in the construction of polyesters at mill stage. So there are polyester fabrics on the market that more closely resemble the look and feel of your favorite cotton or silk. Catherine Sanders, who is a columnist for Big Picture, the other magazine I'm the editor of, which we mentioned earlier, really digs into this column. I will share, once I'm out of this, I can share the link specifically to her column, but I'm just going to highlight some of her thoughts here. So athletic and athleisure wear, outerwear, and swim are really big right now, and polyester is a material you should consider when printing for these types of garments. So some of the advancements in poly are wicking. You may also hear it as moisture wicking, dry fit, cooling. You or your customer will be able to sell the garment at a higher price due to these technical components. Durable water repel, or a DWR finish, will stop absorption by repelling liquid from the fabric surface. One thing to note, with any material you're printing on, you need to consider your printing capabilities. DWR is compatible with dye sublimation printing and solvent-based inks. It's not the best fit for water-based unless you add a primer to the garment, so definitely consider that. If you're in the home decor market, which has seen a huge demand in the last 2 years, and is 100% a sector for screen printers to enter, stain and soil release finishes are an ideal add-on to upholstery fabrics. So if you're entering the home decor market, be sure to suggest technical polyester fabrics with stain and soil release to your customers. Catherine says that polyester is continuing to grow in popularity among the interior fabric market, and a technical fabric can give your customers an edge by creating a product with superior durability. So to talk a little bit about what Vicky said, recycling, recycled polyester is a power player in the fashion industry. Millennials and Gen Z, we're calling it that next gen, really care about this, especially as it becomes more available, cost-effective, and technically advanced. Recycled polyester has evolved in quality and printability in the last 5 years. So the quality is high, it's easily marketable, especially again to that next generation who really care about where their apparel is coming from. And of course, it's the best option for our planet. So we're seeing a win-win-win. And just a little talk about that a little bit more, the next gen, they really do care where things are coming from. They care about what that company is presenting. They care about where the apparel is coming. They also care about what happens in your process. So they're looking at the entire production system, and it's really important to them. So Vicky spoke about community as a trend. There has definitely been an impact in our industry with more women entrepreneurs and owners getting involved. At Screen Printing, we launched the Women in Screen Printing Awards in 2020. It's hosted exclusively by Rock US. Thank you to them for their support. The past 2 years, we've recognized 12 total accomplished women who, through their careers, industry involvement, and philanthropic roles, have sparked innovation, spurred business growth, improved their communities, and enhanced the screen printing industry. You'll see here our t-shirt from the 2021 awards, which was designed by none other than our next panelist, Jeremy Picker. Jeremy chose the Wonder Woman theme to showcase our own screen printing superheroines. Jeremy, you may want to talk about that at the end, but it was his awesome design that we ended up printing at Impressions Expo in Fort Worth. So when I think of community and female leadership, I think of Jessica Tillery, who started a company passion project, Loom, the Love Unstoppable movement in 2019 as an effort to make a difference in her community and in the industry. Loom is a monthly t-shirt subscription that provides an environmental, humanitarian, and spiritual connection. Her goal and message is simple: to spread a message of love and good vibes. So I'd like to share a quick video that I think best describes everything that I'm talking about here.
I never gave much thought to a t-shirt. I viewed it as something simple to create and something we all wear. I've learned it's not just a shirt. Love is unstoppable. It's my passion project, the Love Unstoppable movement. It's a love and faith movement to make an environmental, humanitarian, spiritual, and charitable impact. I chose a t-shirt because t-shirts are a walking billboard. What better way to spread a message of love and good vibes? Through a t-shirt, we've been able to give back, pouring into our community by visiting schools and educating the youth on recycling and kindness. It blows kids' minds that a soft, cozy tee can be made out of recycled bottles. I've been a woman-owned print shop now for over 8 years. I think women bring a different dynamic to the industry. Powerful, determined women oftentimes operate on severe optimism. We also bring an element of empathy and compassion. I feel a team mixed of female strengths and male strengths is the best combination. Having partners that support me as a business through creating and spreading diversity and inclusion, through leadership and creating products that are made environmentally friendly and socially responsible, and also give back to causes that myself and my team have worked so hard to make a difference in, truly means the world to me. We're all in this together. Let's team up throughout the industry and make it better, one t-shirt at a time.
So I think that just really encompasses everything that we are talking about here. So sustainability, community, more women becoming leaders in our industry. And I think that Jessica's just doing an amazing job, as well as all the other women in our industry, and happy to answer any questions about her or the program after this. So my final topic, custom t-shirt printing market to nearly triple by 2032. This comes from Future Market Insights. So the value of the market currently is $3.5 million, and the estimated value by 2032 is $9 million, which is a compound annual growth rate of 9.7%. And according to this study by Future Market Insights, the custom t-shirt printing market is expected to contribute over 2 to 3% in the overall apparel market. So what trends are driving that growth? Customization, of course. The Amazon effect gave it to us when we want it, and customization gives it to us how we want it, whether it's color, pattern, words, image, or even the type of garment. Customers want total uniqueness, and they want something tailored just for them. Technology, we have now print on demand, shorter runs, direct to garment. These are all factors. Technology increasing is allowing for more customization. Behind the scenes craze, so on social media, and thanks to TikTok, people want to see how their shirt is being created and to know it's one of a kind. If you log on to TikTok and even just kind of tag screen printing or go to a screen printing shop, that is what people want to see. They want to see this behind the scenes look. They're so excited to even understand what screen printing is, and then to know, oh, I can purchase from them and it's going to be completely custom and personalized to me, potentially. That's such a big sell right now. Speaking of social media, influencers on Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube are now all making custom merch. This is a huge opportunity for a screen printer who wants to work with an influencer to create their own merch shop and sell a limited number of apparel items. We just covered the legal aspects of this in the latest issue of Screen Printing Magazine, just kind of the NDAs and the process of working with someone, but it's a really interesting market to get into. And then last, but definitely not least, and Vicky touched on this, social awareness. Printed t-shirts can be used to raise social awareness, raise a voice, and support a cause. This study states that customers in industries such as hospitality, logistics, construction, industrial, and medical are increasingly providing custom printed t-shirts to their employees as a marketing tool. So customization is huge right now. Custom t-shirts are growing, and that's all I have. Oh, Jay, I think you're muted.
I'm here. I just had to clear my throat. That was so good, Adrian. Yes. More of this. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for the power of poly. That caught my eye. And I was blown away when you first shared me the stats and the statistics of tripling our growth by 2032. Man, I agree with everything you said. We are growing. We've seen it from our side here at Equipment Zone. We've seen the impact of the technology that you referred to, the printing on demand, and the curiosity of how things are actually printed. Those three things seem to keep driving this forward. So, I mean, obviously, I'm an old school screen printer. I might still have some ink under my nails, but thinking about this from, a very specific technology perspective, sublimation and direct-to-garment printing, and something I'm going to talk about at the end. These things are all lending themselves right into these trends. The power of one, printing one, fewer runs, but more customization. So loved it. You rocked it. Thank you, Adrian. I'd love to hear what our other panelists thought. Jeremy, Vicky, what do you think? What'd you pick up?
Yeah, that co-create idea coming through with the individualization of t-shirts, the personalization just can't be understated. Everybody wants to participate and, be a part of the making of, whether it's just like you say, watching the making or actually having it be personalized to them. It's massive movement. It
is. So cool. And Jeremy, the designer of that t-shirt, boom. Brother, what'd you think?
Cool.
So it was a mix of concept. Angelo is my art director. He's on this webinar right now. So me and him for the last 2 years have executed, these shirts for Adrian. And, I love powerful women. I want to support in any way I can. I love seeing more females coming into our industry. Looking at a recent panel of the screen print world, our diversity, it's not that diverse. And so I like that we're getting more and more different types of people. It seems to be a white male driven industry, but it's changing. And I love that. And I love that Adrian's, giving a platform for these women to show their skills. And, they're rock stars. They're tough. That's why we want to, I know Wonder Woman might have some weird connotations, but, I see that female power that, they're strong, they're witty. Amber from Tees for Hope, she's awesome. I'm getting to know her online, and it's just great to see these business owners rocking it. And then just kind of going in, the influencer market, Teespring, Inksoft, being able to set up those stores, that's kind of the purpose. People know we have company stores, but how can you adapt that company store into a retail driven to make it easy for these influencers to say, hey, not only are you going to print my shirts, but let's have you do everything. And so I think, like she said, it's a big opportunity for decorators in our space, because it's just getting bigger and bigger every day.
Yeah, love it. Love that feedback. You guys, you're all of this. And I know people behind the scenes are probably going to think, they really do seem to have it together, these three panelists. Listen, this is why I love this, because we did not share each other's content. I wanted it by design to be kind of fresh and in the moment. So it's so cool to see how these are complementing each other, and how you have all three picked up on various trends that are relating: the co-creation and the collaboration that Vicky talked about, the recycling poly and how that's recycled poly is a power player, the technology, the print on demand, inks. People are asking questions about inks. Is this plastisol? Is this water-based?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 20 years ago, no one would have asked me that question except another screen printer. Yeah. So Jeremy, you were going to say something? Or
no, I was saying, I was asking that. It wasn't readily available.
Yeah. People were like, hey, this ink never dries. Look, there's a bucket of it from 3 years ago.
Yeah. I love it.
Right on. Well, let's turn this over to you, my friend, Jeremy Picker from Amber Creative. What have you got in store for us? You're up.
Yeah, man. So just for those that don't know who I am, I'm a guy who loves fashion. I love business and technology, and then I love community. And today, the fashion side of me comes out. I try not to take myself too serious. I love all things pop culture, merchandise. My hobbies are my career. And so, again, I'm trying to have fun. I'm not trying to, build this personal brand in my company brand that's staunchy. I want to show not only our design chops, but our creativity and how we can influence people in our industry. And so today, I want to kind of go through a few different things that I am seeing in the marketplace. I think a lot of these trends for people like me and Vicky, we kind of live and breathe this stuff, and our eyes just point to it when we're out and about, when we're researching. We're always constantly watching people. And so it's like, how can we really take what we're seeing and eventually transfer it into what we do, what we offer, and then really what our client needs and how they can elevate their merch program. So I'm going to go through kind of three categories, being colors and styles that I'm seeing within the retail marketplace, different graphic trends. I being a design firm first, we really try to focus on the artwork side of things up front, because that's the first thing people see in most parts. And if they're not attracted to the design, or if they don't like what's happening, then they might not even get to touch and feel and know that this garment is, repurposed or whatnot. So focusing on graphic styles that I see coming down the line, and then different decoration techniques. How can we utilize what we're seeing in retail and transfer it to our customers and just elevate their merchandise? Anyone can get a screen printed shirt or an embroidered shirt, but how do we make that stand out? How do we make that fresh? So the first, obviously we have our color of the year, Very Perry, and thanks to Angelo for helping me make this part pretty. We try to arm our clients with resources to help them make better decisions. We're not a printer. We're not actually manufacturing anything. So we have more time to spend with the customer and help them make better decisions. And then we have the technical know-how to facilitate it. And so we really love to hold our client's hand and walk with them to help them make those decisions. One thing I always say, I'm always going to be politely opinionated when it comes to merchandise. I live and breathe it. I see it day in and day out, and when I think a customer isn't making the best decision, I'm going to let them know. At the end of the day, it's their money, it's their brand. So I yield to them, but I wouldn't be who I was if I wasn't giving them my personal opinion. I tell them, I know the marketplace, your client, and how do we marry all of that together? And I think it starts with the trends, again, knowing what's fresh, what's new, and what our customers are seeing in retail. So obviously Very Perry, you know, Pantone made that color of the year. And then like, what are some supporting colors that can go with it? You know, bubblegum, electric blue, pale yellow. How can we utilize those? And it's not always in the garment. How can we bring in some fresh ink colors to maybe spice up your logo instead of, you know, I'm not going to be able to sell a bubblegum shirt, right? Maybe in some instances, but how do we take those trends and adapt it to what we're doing? So again, bucket hats, totes, water bottles. How can we create merch lines that are fresh and new, but also on brand for clients? So this is just a little showcase of there's some of that reflective that Vicky was talking about. And again, not everyone's going to be for purple. So, but knowing for those clients, especially for the retailing people that are retailing, how can we get them to have their core brand, but then come up with seasonal freshness that are going to give their customers something new to gravitate towards? Even if it's logo driven, how can we freshen up that logo to where they can support us or support the company while we're falling in line with what we see in retail? So some of the other colors, I know Vicky mentioned, but you know, greens and oranges and orchids and blues, these are all that we're starting to see with our suppliers, you know, our blank suppliers being fresh. Obviously Bella Canvas does a great job of doing that. AS Color is doing great. And just seeing like, what can we use as that medium to express ourselves? The outdoors vibe, you know, it's so joyful and it's so playful. So how can we, again, we want to lead our clients and help them make the right decisions. I know a lot of decorators don't have the capacity, customer service power to always help the customer day in and day out. So the cool thing about the trends and what Vicky has presented as well is how can we arm our customers with resources in a group setting? If we're as the distributor or the merch company, if we're helping make these, then distributing them, it's going to be a lot easier for our customers to see what's fresh, because we're not going to be able to spend time with everyone. A trend report, a mood board, and forecasting is a great way to help us help our customers and be profitable, because we don't maybe have the man and woman power to service all of our clients. So one of the big styles that I've been seeing is the Bobby Brady Groovy Stripe tee. You know, it was popular in the 70s. Obviously, the Brady Bunch, for those of you that don't know who the Brady Bunch is, go look it up afterwards. But, you know, it was a bunch of a big family, and they always had really cool T-shirts and shorts and outfits on. And so I remember there was a resurgence in the 90s. My brother, who got me into this industry, he had a clothing company, and I remember I would go to the factories and they were doing cut and sew, and they just had the most crazy, you know, 70s vibe fabrics. And so that was actually one of their best sellers back in the 90s. But here we are again, you know, there's the 90s are back, and you're going to see a lot of that when you go into retail. So while we might not have the options in our industry, you know, there's some brands out there. I know AS Color has a bunch of striped tees, but again, how can we bring some of these styles within the graphics that we're showcasing for our clients? And so again, all the different color stripes, there's even, you know, you have this freshness of brighter colors, you know, versus more of that girl that has kind of the thicker collar, you know, that's more of that 70s vibe. But how can we refresh it? And how can we, again, align ourselves, our clients' merch programs within what they're seeing in retail? It's not going to fit every client, but knowing what is out there is really going to help you service your clients better. You know, if you don't know who your client's audience is, how can you really help them make better decisions when it comes to design, decoration, and style? So even if it's not in your style or you don't like that, you know, industry, it's good to know. That way you can dial it in for your customers. Another style that I'm seeing all over is the color blocking. or the mending, the patchwork. People are trying to come up with new and fresh ways for that hoodie, for that t-shirt. So, that second image I really like, because it's 2 screen printed shirts and then they sew it together. And so it gives this real upcycle feel, kind of DIY, that, like Adrian was saying on TikTok, people going to the thrift store, chopping it up, sewing it together, and creating this completely new garment. And I love that, because it just gives so much creativity. And on a small scale, we can't necessarily do that in mass volume, but, knowing, especially for customers that might be doing cut and sew, showing them these things to say, this could be a really cool way to take some of your 2 best sellers and marry it together. You have this new unique shirt, but it's familiar with your audience. And so I love, and even that 4th picture, that champion, the color blocking within the design. Again, we might not be able to use the actual garment, but how can we freshen up a design and bring in those graphic styles that are trending in retail? And the last one, I'll keep it short, but the Shacket, just the shirt jacket, I'm seeing it all over. I'm sure there's a couple options in our industry that are blank, but it's just something that it's easy to throw on. Again, outerwear and fleece used to only be in the winter, but now even kids in Arizona, I'm getting orders for heavyweight hoodies. I mean, why? It's 120 degrees out there. But again, kids want to fall in line with what their friends are wearing and what they see in pop culture. So the Shacket gives you the ability to throw it on whenever, and is just a unique style versus the more casual hoodie fleece. So the graphic scenes, there's a lot of, at least the last few years, a lot of font driven, basic, typography, a lot of it, not even adjusting the font, just doing Helvetica and typing it. And that started with streetwear. And I feel like Off-White kind of set that standard. But, for me and Angelo, my designer, we want to be more creative. How creative can you be, with just type driven all the time? So I love that if you go into the mall, you're going to just see more and more graphic tees. I know graphic tees are always popular, but the shift in the creative styles is what I'm really liking. And so I have this list of like 40 retailers that I'm going to constantly, just to see what's the latest, from streetwear to action sports to vintage prep to, resell sites, just to find out what the kids are wearing these days and what styles are popular. So one of the first things, and again, I like to try to find commonalities, like, you would think one brand, they have this unique voice, they have this unique style. But if you go to these retailers, you're going to find 9 different brands that have this theme that is across the board. And they are getting that from the fashion space and these trend forecasters, futurists like Vicky that are pinpointing these things that are coming up 3-4 seasons ahead. And they are taking those trend reports to create their retail line. And then usually our industry gets their inspiration from what the retailers are. And so the space race, so many brands that are just using the space theme, with SpaceX and Blue Origin, SpaceX more so, they're actually going to space. But that resurgence of NASA and it's, the possibilities of our future planet and living on another planet, not maybe in our lifetime, but maybe our grandchildren's lifetime. And Coca-Cola just came out with a collab at PAX Sun, and it's all about, space to explore. And Coca-Cola is creating this creative kind of sub company that is going to allow collaborations and designers to play around with their brand marks. Coca-Cola, one of the biggest brand equity logos in the world, they're creating another company so they don't have to stick to their brand standards. And it gives this creative freshness to what people perceive as Coca-Cola and the theme that they're going with. So I really liked that space theme. And again, adapted, it could be simple, like the second image. It says members of the Rage, or it can be super graphic like that first one. So the space theme, again, it doesn't necessarily translate to every customer, but how could said brand utilize some of these trends to create some freshness? If they have a mascot and that mascot is kind of like a focal point of their graphics, then they could maybe put that mascot, with a spacesuit on, or, launching to a different planet. Again, it's bringing those fresh ideas to improve that merch line and help customers have something else. Because if you have these fans and you're coming out with that same graphic, hey, it's our best seller, who cares? If everyone has it, they're not going to keep buying that. And so how can you give opportunity for people that really support you to have something new and to fall in line with what their season is and what they're seeing in the retail space? And then mixed signals. This is whether it's applique, screen print, embroidery and applique. There's some flock that Burberry of London is using a text or, even the name, a font, but then spicing it up, making it unique by giving each letter its own color or its own pattern or its own style. And you're really this is kind of covers all different styles, and it's really simple. A lot of times, let's say you're don't want to have this 4 or 5 color screen print, embroidery, you're allowed to have some of those extra colors without all the added pricing. So how can you not just use screen print, but let's bring in mixed media? I'm a fan of applique. That's how I started my industry or my career path. And I want to push it more, but again, people are utilizing it. It's something new and it's for the wearer. It's not just for our buyer, it's for the people buying from them and that are actually going to wear it in a social setting. So I really love being able to switch it up, even if it is text or logo driven. How can we have some fun with it in color? And then I think I'm going to have to go faster. Other styles, anime and cartoons, not just real full graphics, but childlike, where a kid looks like he's drawing it. You're going to see that a lot in high fashion. Photo driven, which I love, because then you can manipulate text and fonts and icons with photorealistic images. It expands the creativity because you're bringing in, it might not always be the easiest to print all the times and bring up the number of shirt or print colors. But again, how can we really use this creative look to freshen up our line? And then lastly, kind of decoration, things that I'm seeing throughout retail. Obviously, puff has been popular the last couple of years, but how can we do it in a non-normal way? I love the tone on tone with puff. It gives some texture. You can kind of see a little bit of shadows, but it's not loud in your face. But again, it's for that wearer. When they put that on, they feel cool. They like that little extra, not just a screen print, but something elevated to where it looks like you spent more time putting into it. This BDG jeans, again, it's tone on tone, but it's adding some puff pattern to it, which really gives it a unique look. Heat transfers, people like Lion Brothers, Stalls, they're coming out with these really cool transfers, that silicone and this reflective rainbow. And how can we utilize, because some decorators don't have big presses, they're just doing DTG and heat pressing. Well, if you're not selling heat transfers and you're a DTG printer, you're missing out. You already have the heat press. So how can you, again, bring in some fresh decoration techniques for your client using the equipment you already have? I think it's a miss if you're not doing it. If you are, keep doing it. Try to explore these different heat transfer styles. And then embossing, I know it's difficult to find in the US. A lot of it, you have to go overseas, but the embossing just gives, again, a good, cool dimension. And then chenille, not just your basic varsity letters, but then how can you be super creative within the embroidery and the knit, or the embroidery of the chenille, having fun with it. And then again, more full stitches, how can, embroidering on the hoods, all over the sleeves, like that NASCAR vibe. And then with this super dry puff embroidery, creating almost this camo look within the puff. I know Eric could probably tell, Eric Campbell in the audience, how difficult that might be to digitize. But again, think outside of just your basic flat embroidery and screen print. And then for those of you that have sublimation, bomber jackets, tops, bottoms, and then going into the polyester that Adrian talked about, sublimation gives you that creative option to go all over. And one last thing, little bonus, if you haven't known, the World Cup is coming November, December. So a lot of companies, they want to, they're all over the world. And so how can they create this bond and support their team? Businesses can make their own soccer jerseys. They can come up with these tracksuits and let because it is the most popular sport in the world, let their team, their employees support their favorite team, but with your brand. And so I think you're going to get asked a lot about either the looks of soccer, even if it's t-shirts that kind of have that retro look, is supporting the worldwide phenomenon that's going to be the World Cup. So all of it, don't get overwhelmed. I know this is a lot. We jam-packed it in, but again, how can you know the trends, filter for the client? Again, knowing the whole marketplace, the marketplace. How can you help that customer, which is in certain demographics, filter those trends? Because again, not everything we talked about is not going to be in line with every customer, but you need to know about it in order to filter that down, and then have fun and be creative. Again, we need to help our customers make those best buying decisions. We are the experts, and we need to show that and lead with that. When they see that we know what we're talking about, it builds trust, and it's going to bring them back and back and back, and then tell others about you. So yeah, thanks.
Yes. Jay Pick.
Long-winded.
No, you were nailing it, crushing it, slicing and dicing.
Awesome.
Loved every single. Yes, so good. I mean, hanging on every word, right, Vicky?
Yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah.
Such good practical, like visual expressions of what's going on.
I love it. Adrian, any comments, any feedback, besides being amazed?
Yeah. Overwhelmed, but in the best possible way.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy, for sharing all that. The one thing that really, really stuck out was using what you already have to do something different and better for your customers. Like just look at your inventory, even look at the skill of your staff members. What can you do with what you already have to provide something unique and new and different to your customers that will not only help them grow, but help you grow too. I really liked that.
Yeah, it was great. Hey, for everybody who's hanging in there, we've got about maybe 10 more minutes. So hang with us if you can. We understand you may not be able to, but for those who can, also give our wonderful panelists some feedback, give them some props in the chat. Please let us know what you're thinking so far, what you've enjoyed, any concepts, any phrases. Words matter. Vicky taught me that a long time ago. And I've noticed all of you, I've tried to put a few things in the chat, and I know Adrian shared a few links and Vicky shared a few links. So great job so far. I'm not going to take much time. I do want to share my screen and go back to, if everybody can still see this and hear me, first of all, is this all working? Are we still connected?
Yes.
Perfect. So Trend Dependent, Vicky, a little shout out to you. People can check you out here and get some more data, information, some visuals, some colors. What you've curated here is like, it's epic and I love it. And so I just have to give a shout out. So trenddependent.com, Vicky, thank you so much. And then also Adrian, people, if you're not following Adrian and Screen Printing Magazine, go follow it, get that digital magazine. The March, April Digimag is here. Adrian, I love the word Digimag. I have no idea why, but it just, it just hit me the last time we were talking about this. So if folks, if you're looking for ways to improve, how to solve problems, they have a wonderful network of contributing authors and interviews and podcasts and videos. So anything I need to know, or is that enough of a plug for Screen Printing Magazine, Adrian?
That was perfect. Thanks so much. Yeah, you can subscribe for free at screenprintingmag.com/subscribe, all digital edition. We have a podcast, update the website all the time. And Jeremy is on our editorial advisory board and is a Brain Squad member. So
Brain Squad.
To get all of his insight all the time.
Yes, love it. And then of course, Jeremy, your website, oh my God, it's like, I can't get enough. And thank you for doing this. I just don't think you're so willing to share too. I mean, people need to understand this is Jeremy's lifeline. This is what he does for a living. He is you, for those of you who've tuned in. And so he's willing to kind of pull back the curtain and share all of this greatness. I'm a big fan. You know, I have been for a long time. Also, if you're not following him on LinkedIn and Pinterest and everywhere else, go do that. Jeremy, you crushed it. Thank you for all that you've shared today. I have notes, literally, I'm taking notes on all of you. I can't wait to go back and watch this again because it was so good, texture. But I have to kind of segue in, just give me a few more minutes to something that Jeremy said, which was mixed signals. I loved that. And I love that you talked about photo driven. Those are two huge, huge trends that we're seeing here at Equipment Zone. And the fact that you talked about transfers, because you could not have served it up better for me personally. The direct to garment revolution is not going away. Inkjet technology is not going away. All of the major who's who of huge screen printing manufacturing companies are all trying to figure out how to create affordable and workable hybrid concepts. And that's all I'm going to say about them. But what we're doing at Equipment Zone is we have figured out a way to take the existing product, an Epson F2100 DTG printer, using the same printer, using the same inks, you can now create your own transfers. And so to Jeremy's point, this is the #1 trend right now. Every trade show we've done, total of 2 so far this year, trade shows are back. Oh my gosh, we're so excited. But everyone coming up to our booth is like, hey, what can you tell me about direct to film? Hey, what are these DTF transfers all about? Hey, where do you go to get these transfers? You guys making those? And so, yes, there are machines that are doing it. There are services like Stalls that are doing it. And there are companies like us who are reminding our network. We have thousands of customers that are like, we're saying, hey, you could be doing this too. And so as that excitement comes out and the opportunity for full color, I mean, when was the last time you guys saw a full color neck tag? Right?
Yeah, that's revolutionary.
No one would do that because it's not practical. But now it is. It's not only practical, it's reasonable. So why not take advantage of that opportunity and tell a story in the neck label and use full color? So little things matter like that. And the branding touch points matter like that. And DTF makes it possible. So I'm not going to go into this in a deep way. Tim probably can drop some videos into the chat where we've done extensive how-to videos. So folks, if you own an Epson DTG printer of any kind, F2000, F2100, or F3070, all 3 of those machines can now also open up all of these other avenues for you, because forever DTG was just about cotton or high cotton content. Well, now it's not, because you can create a transfer and apply that transfer to an umbrella, to rayon, to poly, to backpack, to a hat. The hat I'm wearing right now, I made this one. This is a DTF transfer. This is a DTF transfer. So all of these new products are just new profit potentials. And this is our crew from last week. You can see our new design for our trade show backdrop. And thank you to Screen Printing Magazine for finding us in Long Beach and in Atlantic City and posting wonderful pictures of our booth. We really, really appreciate that. But the team that you see on the right, that's our dream team, the DTG dream team, but now it's the DTG and DTF dream team. They're not in trouble. They're not paying the penalty for poor performance. They're just turned around so that you can see I'm wearing the same shirt, but I don't have that cool back print because I didn't go to Atlantic City. But this shirt is from Sanmar. I love the style. I love the cut. And it's a blend that we normally would never be able to print with a DTG printer. So now with the same printer, the same inks, we're able to do this kind of work. And so I can wear more materials that I like, that are more fitting, that are also have, what was the correct term, Vicky? It's not just men's and women's, it's
gender full.
Gender full. So
yes.
You can see our lineup of genderful people here, and of all sizes, shapes, colors, and genders. And we found product through Sanmar that also was able to facilitate that. So that's why this DTG heat transfer revolution is so important to us at Equipment Zone. And like I said, please go watch our how-to videos at our YouTube. We're pretty proud of the fact that we have over 100 DTG specific videos, almost all of which have training or are training related. So that's what I wanted to share today. So that's all really from this point forward. It's as much time as we can kind of hang on. We are starting to see people who have to peel off. And I know, and Vicky, I'm respectful of your time, and Adrian and Jeremy too. Thank you so much for participating today. I hope that everyone today found something, heard something, felt something, and it's all about the good vibes. This video will also be on our YouTube channel. You can definitely go watch it again. I know I will. And so on behalf of everybody from Equipment Zone, thank you again to our guests. I mean, you guys put in a lot of work and I so appreciate it. If you want to reach out and find them, I hope we made that obvious. But why don't we start with you, Vicky? Vicky, if people want to find you, connect with you, what's the best way?
My Instagram it's all simple. It's just trend dependent. So TRENDEPENDENT, and trenddependent.com is the blog.
Love it. Love it. Jeremy, what would you like to say? Any final, how can people reach out and say hi and give you some compliments that you so deserve?
Yeah, man. Like you said, LinkedIn is where I try to post the most helpful content, peer-to-peer usually. You know, I went into this content journey thinking I was going to educate the end customer, but I found that people within our industry like my content. And so I really enjoy helping others elevate their merchandise and keep it out of the landfill. So, you know, come and hit me up on Pinterest. Twitter I'm pretty active, but I really love LinkedIn. And one thing I forgot to show in my color mix, this is my new amber t-shirt that we did. And we did different colors on every side, discharge ink, one color print, and then a full inside woven label like super dry. So we were pretty proud. I was going to show that in my presentation.
I love all your different placements. That's that. So cool.
I hope my customers like it. The Christmas gift that I haven't sent out yet.
Hey, it's never too late to send a gift ever.
Hey, the art of gifting. Surprise. Yes, I love that. Well, we're just the four of us now, Jay. Just us kids. Thank you. Adrian, before you already kind of gave a shout out, but where would you like people to find you if you would like that?
Yeah, screenprintingmag.com. You can find everything you need there. Screenprint Mag is our handles on social media. And yeah, screenprintingmag.com is the best. You can subscribe, you can check out the digital edition, you can get our news bulletins, you can listen to this podcast, everything you need.
Love it. Love it. You guys were excellent. So there's a few questions. If you can hang for just another couple of minutes. Somebody asked something really interesting and they said, hey, Jay, is there an interesting way? Could you create DTF transfers and apply them to mud flaps? I have not done that. That is pretty specific. That's kind of crazy and out there. I'm going to go with probably not, but test it, try it. I'm all about experiences and figuring it out what's possible. I figured out that you could do a DTF on a can koozie or can wrap. I figured out how to do it on this hat. We just saw somebody online figure out how to do DTF on boxes, corrugated boxes. So get experience, right? Try it. Tell us. You come back and report to us, Tracy, whether or not you could do it. But I'm scrolling through here. So if you have a minute and you're still on, this is your lucky break. You can ask one of our panelists a quick question. So all I'm seeing is amazing information. The panelists were awesome. I love this. I have a customer, great presentation. Thank you for all of this wonderful feedback. Is there anything specific that either Vicky or Adrian or Jeremy covered that you would love another? I have a question prepared in case that didn't happen.
I have a quick question, Jay.
Yes, go for it.
Why didn't you have some tacos delivered to our doors?
Yeah,
we're doing this through lunch. Come on, man.
Come on, I've got my happy little therapy taco with me at all times.
Therapy taco.
You're right. I owe you all more than just tacos. So Jeremy, thank you. Seriously, it was great. I appreciate that. To the question about DTF, to tile or wood. Wood probably because it's a porous surface if it has not yet been treated. Tile probably not. And yes, thank you for the announcement. They do eat tacos in Canada. That's bonus. We all are now hungry. Thank you, Jeremy. Tacos always sound amazing. The question I wanted to ask was this. It's to all three of you quickly, and it has to do with I call it the yeah, but factor. Okay. So I'm going to take off my contributor and I'm going to take off my moderator caps, and I'm going to play the role of the slightly cynical, slightly sarcastic company owner who's like, yeah, but Adrian, yeah, but Vicky, yeah, but Jeremy, that's cool. You can do that. But how am I going to do that? Right? How's that going to work for me? So maybe you could each one idea, one tip, one short suggestion. How could I start to apply this in our company, my company? You know, not Jeremy's cool company. He's fashion forward. He likes, you know, Manx. I think those are man tanks that have crops. And I'm going to start with you, Vicky. What's one thing I could apply in my business?
I think we talked a little bit about it, but this idea of exploring what all the different eco options are in our industry, I think would be probably the smartest thing any company could do, because there really are becoming merchandising mandates that a lot of brands or a lot of companies are starting to have because of what their customers want. So to start looking through and really making buckets for yourself of like, is this a company that's doing social good? Let me put them there. Is this a woman-owned company? Is this, you know, that's also interesting to people. Is it a carbon neutral product or carbon sequestering fiber that's being used? Is it, you know, a recycled material in some way? And just make yourself a flow chart of what all these things are, because you're going to be asked, and it just helps differentiate the product. There's so many things in our industry, which is awesome, but it helps to start to differentiate what these products are that you can talk about with your customers, because we're all looking for content all the time. So to be able to specifically call out something that's really special about that product and tell the story of that company. People want stories. It's amazing. You know, it's good for your company. It's good for the earth. It's good for the people who own that brand. So.
Love it. Love it. So here's what I heard you say. So something we could start with today, we could start by curating and looking for those social good trends and environmental trends now. Those are two things that I heard you say specifically over and over and over and over again. And that we could start to curate our own, like a bucket here, a list there, and then try to then tell that story.
Tell the story. Yep.
Here's how that applies. Here's what that means to you. Here's why this substrate's important. Here's why this manufacturing process is important. And so I love that. I love that. That was a perfect takeaway. Nice. Nicely done. Okay.
Can I add something to that real quick, Jay? Just real quick.
Of course. Build on it. We're collaborating here. That was a key word, right?
A great time for that, because it is more expensive, right? They are going to have to spend more money, but with everything increasing in price right now, your prices have to change no matter what. So for those people that really value that, it's not just getting that eco shirt. It's how can you promote that to your customer and use that in your digital marketing strategy. It's not just a company t-shirt or this retail t-shirt. Like Vicky said, use that story, but it has to go all the way to the end user, or it's just going to be an expensive, nice eco shirt that is going to sit on the shelf. So all because they're great products and they're nice for the environment, you can't just make it and they'll buy it. You have to tell them and show them. And that's going to take social media and the right marketing paired with that to justify that ultimate higher cost for the powers that be.
And love just that. Like, you know, Jeremy was talking about the Instagram people who have their own merch, you know, that they sell. It's a huge industry, and you're giving a gift to them, because they will, I tell you what, they will choose that product that's a little more expensive if it has an eco-friendly outlook to it, because if you tell them what it means, then they have all the ammunition they need to tell their customers about it, and then post on all of their media as to why it's important. Because like I said, in the best possible way, being eco-friendly is cool, and it's a good thing. And so people want that cred on their bodies, and they will tell people about it.
Yeah, love that. Excellent. Adrian, what about you? Is there anything that you can give us, a little nugget, a parting gift, one thing that we could apply besides subscribing to Screen Print's Digimag. What else could we have as a takeaway?
I think that it's really important, everything that Jeremy and Vicky and yourself are saying, by having all of this research and these trends to present to your customer. I think that's so important that you can come to the table with ideas. But on the flip side, you should also be listening to your customers. You really need to have that conversation with them. What do they want? If all of your customers say, we don't care about sustainability, maybe you should get other customers, but maybe that's not the same values that you have, alignment there. But if they're saying we don't really want this, then you don't need to push something unless you're looking to grow your client base and find new customers. Really stick to what they want and have those conversations. And then once you have that conversation and you've done the research, you know what you can provide them, then slide them something and say, okay, but we can also do this. What do you think? So it's really having that conversation with your clients and being that expert, but listening to them as well.
Excellent insights. Nailed it, Adrian. Perfect. That story needs to be told, but you also have to listen. So I love that. Come to the table with ideas, but be prepared to identify. And Jeremy did a great job of explaining that, having that story that goes all the way through and each touch point, each person that's making a decision all the way through the buyer, so that the consumer, the final wearer, the person who's actually going to wear that hat, that shirt, that backpack, that whatever, they know what they got themselves into, and they will pay more. They will pay a premium. I think we've all seen it. We're not just saying that because someone told us to say it. Vicky has said it independently. So has Jeremy. So have you, Adrian. And I agree. I concur. So your insights were wonderful. We went a little long. Thank you for hanging in there and answering some of these questions. We're going to let the other folks go. It's a catch and release program. They have lives too. And I'm so grateful. And thank you again on behalf of everyone at Equipment Zone, to Adrian, to Jeremy, to Vicky. Your content was tremendous. I can't wait to watch it, but I got to let you guys get back to life, right? So I'm going to say goodbye for now. I'm going to let you go get your tacos. And here's our final little splash screen. If you need to ask more questions specifically about DTG printing or dye sublimation printing, we're the company that actually sells the machines. We have the largest tech support company and training team outside of Epson. All we sell is Epson. So if you ask us questions about other folks, we don't know those answers. But we really do look forward to continuing this conversation. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. And that's it. I got to let you go. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop now because I'll just keep rambling on.
We love
Vicky,
talking about this.
I know.
Bye, guys. We got to let you go. Jeremy, thank you.
Joe.
Adrian, thank you all.
So
Goodbye.
cool to be here. Have a
So
great
much
day,
fun.
everybody. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.